All right, let's have another crack at this, shall we? As Test cricket moves even further east for the second and unfortunately final test of this India-South Africa series. The toss has taken place half an hour before time at Test venue number 30 for India in Guwahati. Present there was Test captain number 38 in Rishabh Pant, who has lost the toss, and Temba Bavuma, South Africa, threatened India's reputation as a fortress and a strong team at home in Test cricket. They could lose a second Test series at home in the span of 12 months. So on Bajaj Finserv Mutual Funds presents ESPNcricinfo Matchday. There's plenty on the line. And what a good day to bring Sabah Karim, therefore, into the Cricinfo studios. Dare I say for the first time or after a long time?
I'm like the new venue.
My God. Sabah, we've got
like
you
Test
in.
match venue.
So what can we expect from you?
Better surface.
In all seriousness, you would sense there is a lot riding on this game for Gautam Gambhir, for the team management, for a proud reputation that suddenly is at the danger of being former reputation of sorts if India do not get a win at this Test match.
Yes, it is, Raunak, and I think understandably so, because India happened to be a fortress maybe a couple of seasons ago. But I think all that changed when India lost that 3-0 series to New Zealand. And I think it all happened so quickly that the Indian team took some time to really understand the entire dynamics behind it. Unfortunately, even in the first Test match, India's preparation was not up to the mark, and that is why we faltered. We can keep talking about the surface; all that is fine. But now this is the time for one can say a resurrection of sorts for India, because it is a new side, new captain. Gautam Gambhir still trying to figure out as a test match coach what all is required in terms of combination, in terms of game plan. I think all that will be tested again today.
And on the other side, other World Test champions, and now there should be no equivocations of South Africa's status as the World Test champions. They've come in and impressed one and all and stunned the home team. Vernon Philander was with us right through that Test match, and here he is again. Rise and shine, Vernon. Now, I know that you're looking forward to this Test. I can imagine perhaps even South Africa, they would have spent this last week in India with a couple of days off and actually soaking in all the sharp reactions that came in, because we do not like India losing home tests. And I wonder if South Africa sense that, yep, we can take advantage of all this pressure right now.
Yeah, good morning. I think for a second time in a row, South Africa's done the right thing by winning the toss. But I think there's so much pressure on this Indian team at the moment, having lost their captain in the last Test match, but also now fighting adversity, having to come from 1-0 down. I think very often as South Africans, when we've toured, the subcontinent, we always have to make the play by being a Test match down. This time around, it's a completely different ball game. But also, just given the nature of Indian surfaces, I mean, having had first-hand experience, having played over there, and I know how tough it is batting in that fourth inning. So I think that will certainly play on the back of their mind. Having lost the last Test match as well, I think no matter how good the surface is over there, I think this first innings, I said it in the last Test match, is going to be of paramount importance. I think runs in the first innings for both teams. So South Africa, they would have learned a great deal from that last Test match, and I think they will like to rectify this first innings in particular, because they know how crucial, first innings runs will be on the board. But I think a lot of eyes, a lot of pressure will be on the home team to make the play.
Excellent. Let's get a reaction on the team news. Vernon, let me start with you. Temba Bavuma, South Africa batting first, and Muthuswami's in, Bosch misses out. Your reactions?
Absolutely no surprise. So I think then I get a clear message as well what the surface is going to be like. I think it's probably going to be on the slow side. I think spinners will play a massive role. And I think in the last Test match, I said it, I was very surprised that Muthuswami, weren't form part of that particular Test match, that first 11. So not surprised at all. I think he's a key figure. He brings so much to the party with bat in hand. Obviously, I think Kagiso Rabada, I'd have loved to see him back, but perhaps still struggling with that niggle. But I think Muthuswami will just be, in a decent, that will strengthen, that South African lineup. So really looking forward to it. I do feel you will play a massive part, because I almost feel his pace is perfectly suited for, the Indian surfaces, where there will be a lot of assistance on offer for the spinners. But I just feel that, he gives it a good slow loop, as opposed to Keshav Maharaj, that obviously bowls a touch faster. And allowing batters, that extra bit of pace to work with. So yeah, I feel a massive addition for South Africa, and I do feel it's the right one too.
All right, no surprises for Vernon Philander. I don't think it's the same in our part of the world these days when playing 11s are announced. Sabah Karim, let's confirm the Indian 11 and get Sabah's thoughts. Shubman Gill, the captain, of course, ruled out of this test match. Rishabh Pant will take the leadership position. Sai Sudarshan returns, and you think he'll presumably take his spot at number 3. And there's one more change. Nitish Kumar Reddy for Akshar Patel. Sabah.
I remain skeptical, Raunak. Sai Sudarshan on expected lines. Without Shubman Gill, you needed another batter to come in the 11, so I can understand that kind of a change. But to see Nitish Kumar Reddy in place of Padikkal, that is surprising to me. I was expecting another batter in the lineup instead of Nitish Kumar Reddy. India somehow, for some inexplicable reason, still is obsessed with playing more all-rounders than specialist skill set players. So I was expecting Padikkal to come into the 11 instead of Nitish Kumar Reddy, because I feel the surface at Guwahati with 5 bowlers, 5 specialist bowlers, 5 attacking bowlers, that should have been enough to take 20 wickets. But I think somehow India feels that they need that extra cushion of having another bowler. We did that at the Eden Gardens, where the 6th bowler was not required, and here again we have gone ahead with a batting all-rounder instead of playing a specialist batter.
I know you said this in our preview as well, and I found it quite a unique take that you said might as well play that extra batter when you are susceptible or when there's a problem with just your batting if the surface is challenging. What have you made of this long-term chat from the team management? We're looking at Reddy as a long-term player. We're going to give him opportunities as often because we know he could be a key component of an overseas test side and therefore give him a chance as often. What do you make of that?
Well, the thought process is perfectly fine, Raunak, but that comes into the picture when the surface demands it. Here on a track like this, when you already have 3 spinners and 2 pace bowlers, I don't think it requires another seamer in the mix, as a batting all-rounder come a seamer. And I feel that Nitish Reddy is perfectly suited for conditions where you'll have 3 seam bowlers, top quality seam bowlers, along with a batting all-rounder like Nitish Reddy. But on this kind of a track, in any case you have 3 spinners, why would you need another batting all-rounder in the mix? It is not about extra batter, it is about you having a batting lineup from number 1 till number 6, including the wicket keeper, and then you have 5 regular bowlers, and all 5 of them whom you have picked, they're all attacking and wicket-taking bowlers.
Okay, time will tell what to expect. Why don't you give us a bit of your take on what to expect from this Guwahati surface?
Well, normally in Guwahati you find black soil surfaces, but I think that this BCCI and the state associations at times have experimented of having 2 kinds of surfaces in most of the new stadia that have come up in India, Raunak. So you see that in Guwahati they have black soil surface and they have red soil surface, quite similar to what you get in Lucknow. Now the only issue with red soil is red soil on its own demands a lot of moisture. And I think it is ideally suited for centers which is very close to the sea, for instance Chennai, for instance Mumbai, because it retains the moisture. Now in Guwahati, to have that kind of moisture to exist for the entire 5 days, that is not possible. You possibly can't water the wicket too much, then it will leave too much of moisture underneath. So I think that is why India is happy to play on a red soil surface in Guwahati, because I think after the 2nd day it'll dry up faster, and it will develop more crack, and you'll get more sharp turn on this surface compared to the last wicket at the Eden.
Taking off from Sabah's point, Vernon, does that actually make the toss result quite decisive or significant for the team batting first in South Africa?
Yeah, I think it will certainly play a part, but I just feel, just prepare a good surface. I mean, given the nature of the surfaces that we have seen throughout the series, I don't think India can change, their method or their, the style of, obviously that they want to play. So, yeah, I think the surface will play a part again. Like I said earlier, the toss is a massive toss to win. But I think South Africa have taken so much learning from that first test match. They know that, they need to get more runs on the board. So I think we're going to see a completely different approach from the South African team. I think it will be one that will be a little bit more conservative. And also, I think, once you get that first test match out the way, you understand, what the conditions obviously offer up, number 1, but also how you need to go about it. So I think, they will definitely put it into play. They'd have taken a lot of confidence, number 1, obviously to win that particular test match. But I think there will be a massive emphasis on this first innings for South Africa. And having won the toss again, you are giving yourself a massive advantage. But I just feel that, given the fact that they've picked Mutasami, gives me a clear indication, that the surface is dry again. It will turn throughout this test match.
Yeah, and India will be batting fourth again, a team that is desperate to try and make sure that that home record doesn't get hurt any further. But this is what's at stake, and this is the chat we started with Sabah Karim as well. This result, no matter which way this goes, that best India will level the series. But if South Africa are to do it, Vernon, it will just continue to send the impression around the world that India are a lot more beatable now than they were for that decade or so in between 2012 and 2024, and they didn't lose a home test series. The batting averages have dropped for India's home players, and you could see now in the last 12 months, in 6 matches, it's 4 losses at home. Vernon, as a visiting international, do you sense if South Africa get this job done, this could have serious effects? The entire attitude and mindset to touring India might change in the short term for test teams?
Yeah, I think it will definitely send a message to the rest of the world that India is vulnerable at the moment. I think we've seen it, when South Africa had a change as well. I think, we've had a magnificent run of home, series wins. But yeah, times do change, teams do change, and with that change, there comes a period where you're going to be vulnerable, where you're going to be beatable. But it's all about also, building yourselves as
Well, we'll pick up Vernon's thoughts in just a second, but Sabah, carry on that. This is what's at stake potentially right now, whether reputation becomes a formerly held reputation.
Yes, well, I think teams now to travel to India, they are much better prepared, Raunak. And I think the preparation is not only maybe a month before the test series starts. It's how you need to have a vision to do well in India. And I think look what South Africa have done. They have 3 top quality spin bowlers. They have Keshav Maharaj, who has got loads of experience. They brought in Simon Harmer, exceptional at first class level, did very well in Pakistan and continued to do so in the first test match. And then you have Muthuswamy, who did very well as an all-rounder in Pakistan. So if you back such players who are required to perform in these conditions, I think that makes a perfect combination for any foreign side. Quite similar to what India does when we travel to Sena country, whether it is Australia or England, South Africa, New Zealand. We always have a pool of pace bowlers. We have 4 or 5 pace bowlers in the mix because we feel that such pace bowlers will do well in those conditions. So I think no wonder now if you look at all the international matches that has been taking place, teams are bound to do well if they have that kind of vision, if they're able to prepare well, and if they have the right kind of skill set to perform in these conditions. I think that's what South Africa has done, quite similar to what New Zealand did against India.
Yeah. In which case, I guess the state of mind of the Indian team management is very curious. In a week where lots has been said and sharp reactions and opinions have been made. And I heard Sutanshu Kotak, the batting coach, come in and say, well, Gautam Gambhir took it on himself to protect the curator. In the process, I think, for some reason putting the focus on the players. And then by saying that itself, also the protector that was trying to be saved, the curator was trying to be saved, ends up getting thrown under the bus as well. More than individuals here, I'm just wondering whether the team management it's a reflection of a team management that is feeling a bit of heat.
Yes, they are, Raunak. I think they are, at times I feel that there is too much of confusion going around. And I think I've said this in the first test match when I was covering it from the venue. The time has come now for India to take a call that the prerogative on the kind of surface India gets to play test matches at home, that lies with BCCI. It should not lie with the team management. And if that is the case, then the team prepares according to that. They're open to any kind of surface that they get. There are so many test venues in India. So I think once you take away that kind of decision making from the team management, there's more space for the local curator along with the neutral curator, which BCCI sends to all these venues to prepare wicket that will last for 5 days and that will offer more. It will offer a platform for all 3 skills to come into picture, and I think that's what you require in these kind of surfaces. And on top of that, if you're willing to play on turning tracks or rank turners, then you need time to prepare. None of these Indian batters play on domestic cricket now, which offers that kind of of spin or turn. So if you look at the Ranji Trophy scores for the past, I think almost a decade now, India has done away with making vicious turners. India have gone ahead and started to prepare sporting wickets. That is why Indian batters are much better prepared to play outside India when they face those conditions. So I think that's the kind of problem that the Indian batting lineup or the Indian team management faces at this point of time.
Yeah, and if you were in Gautam Gambhir's shoes now and you still had perhaps the chance of a conversation with the curator at Guwahati, what would you ask for?
One should not get into that position. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
I would love to go up to the neutral curator and ask him, what have you made for us? And I say, okay, I've made a wicket that will, for the first maybe a day and a half, first day it should assist the seam bowler, second day it will turn out to be good batting surface, maybe go on to the third day, and then from third day onwards, it should start to turn a little bit. That's the kind of surface you normally get in India. I'm all for having that advantage for the home team. But advantage to what extent? And on top of that, preparation becomes extremely important in these conditions.
All right. I think we're going to have a lot more mentions of the word pitch or the surface. But very quickly, just before we wrap things up, remember it's a 9 a.m. start. At 11 we'll take tea, and then at 1:20 we will take a lunch for 40 minutes. So revised session timings. Any effect at all of that on the players themselves, or the fact that this is in the as far east as cricket goes, where the ball might swing for longer given the time of day?
Well, I think for the batters, it should not be an issue at all. But yes, I think pace bowlers, especially in the morning, because you're playing in the northeastern part of the country, they will get some movement. So there is hope for pace bowlers to get some wickets in the pre-tea session, if I may say so. But I think
let's just go 1, 2, and 3.
Something like that. Yeah, but I think this surface should encourage the pace bowlers to work hard to pick some wickets with the new ball.
You said in our preview yesterday on Rishabh Pant that he will be unpredictable. If you could just sort of elaborate on that now, looking at the team that India have taken and the fact that they are bowling first, what can we expect from him?
I was first up expecting Rishabh Pant to play Devdutt Padikkal instead of going ahead with Nitish Reddy. So having said that, now since they've already decided, I am looking at some variations in terms of bowling changes, some fielding positions, because that's what you can expect from Rishabh Pant, because he's got his own mind, the way he thinks about the game. There is some method behind it, but I think he's the kind of a captain and a player who anticipates quite well, who is able to understand what the batter is trying to do, and accordingly he will set field. So we can find all those kind of changes in Rishabh Pant's captaincy.
All right, Saba, let's leave it there and let's pick up Vernon Philander as well. It's still very early in South Africa, so we'll get him in a couple of hours when we've had a session of play for a 20-minute chat. How do you see this session going? Just uneventful or?
Very eventful.
Oh, okay, very eventful.
Yes, I'm expecting Bumrah and Suraj and Siraj to do well. I'm expecting at least India to pick up a couple of wickets. Raunak, if India can do that, and I think the first inning plays a big role in home test matches.
All right,
hopefully India should restrict South Africa. Not a big score, and I think India can come back and outscore South Africa.
All right, so a couple of wickets, if not more, said Sabah Karim. And it's a curious day where all 10 test playing nations will be in action in international cricket, and we saw the first session. Now wickets are falling at Perth, left, right and centre. Let's see what Guwahati has for us on its own test debut. Join us for the conversation after the first session on Bajaj Finserv Mutual Funds presents ESPN Cricinfo Matchday.